Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
All right, so let me just jump right in and get, going with you a little bit about. So, as you know, my name is Indira Couch, and I am a leadership and engagement and master coach, and we represent a brand it's a global brand. It's called Engage and Grow. And so, Kandyss, maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and why would you say, or what is the most rewarding part of what you do?
Okay, sure, yeah. So I've been an entrepreneur for a lot of years. I think I'm now heading on to my 15th year in that entrepreneurial space. I did start very, very early, and so my passion has always been to be an example of doing and pursuing your dreams at the moment, within the moment, and not having age be a restriction. And so inside that entrepreneurial journey, it would have taken me in different paths, because I would have used technology to do so. And technology really is a component of every industry. So I did get the opportunity to touch as many industries as possible. And so I started back when was still secondary school, and I started Royal Link Limited. Was the first tech incubator in Trinidad and Tobago that really developed persons to use technology and create businesses. So we would teach young persons all the way from age 11 to 19 how to code, but not just use the code, but to create businesses using the technology. Right. And out of that, we got 19 businesses solving 19 problems in 19 different communities, all using technology to do so. Wow. And so that really fueled and continues to fuel me. I moved on to into the finance space by creating the FinRoute, and a whole lot happened in between there. But we are now in that fintech space, giving persons the opportunity to have access to financial products without the hassle, and allowing them to achieve their goals. Right. By having that access and having the knowledge.
Right. So what were your expectations? What did you want to get out of today's interview? What kind of brought you to this place? What are your expectations?
My expectations really is to continue to be in the mix, and to really connect with the persons. I think for me, as my focus, although I'm a technology, my focus is product. And in order to be a product manager or anywhere in product, you have to have an understanding of technology, but then also a deep understanding of people and the science of their behavior. And so the more I get to engage with different people in different industries, young women doing amazing things, I jump at the opportunity.
Right, wonderful. So what you wanted to get out of this interview today was being able to share a little bit about what you do, so that people would hear more about what you're doing, so you make those connections. Is that what you?
Yeah, and then also, of course, and then obviously to meet you, because when you reached out to me, I said, okay, this is another incredible woman doing an incredible thing. I want to be able to at least have a conversation.
Wonderful. Okay, great. So, a lot of the work that I do is in the engagement and leadership and culture space. So I'm a master coach. And so typically I work with leaders and organizations, and leaders who invest in themselves and their teams. Mm-hmm. Specifically, they're investing in people, they're investing in their businesses to create and sustain high-performing teams. And then they recognize that they do not want to take the journey alone. So they raise their hand because they're doing that investment in themselves and their teams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that's a little bit about me. How do you think that, what it is that you do? Let's talk a little bit more about you, though. What was it that you say is, there's some of your challenges that you may have in terms of, your team or your organizational culture? What are some of those things that you may face?
Yes, so I think finding the right fit is always a challenge. I try to capture very talented persons, but mainly those that are very willing to learn. And so you can come from a place of not knowing which is the best place to come from, but always having that passion and drive to grow and to learn. I'm a daily learner. Every day I learn a whole lot, even about myself. And so for a team that is growing and starting to implement a culture or a product that is not mainstream, or it can be looked at as disruptive in an industry like finance, it's really, really important to find persons that will be able to get into something like that.
Right. So you have a team of what's the size of your team right now?
Currently we are 8. We were 10. But I think even that is a good story. I like to share my mistakes, and because they are lessons. And one of my mistakes was the selection of directors, and that didn't work out too well. And I know a lot of persons have co-founder stories, and this was the first time that I would have been able to participate in that story. But you know, it's always important to get persons that align psychologically, just with the same passions and the same drive. And I think that is one of the things that I recently learned and was able to take a lot of lessons from.
We call that in my language organizational culture. And so they're aligning on values. And if you care on your values of your organization, then it helps you even in your recruitment. Yeah, so because remember, you can actually train people, but what you want to do is you want to hire for attitude and alignment to your values, like you said. Yeah. So if you were to have kind of a magic wand as to kind of create the team that you want, like that really brilliant team that is going to help you to take and you're going to leverage through your team to take you to the next level, what is that? What would you need to do?
What would I need to do? I think I would have to be a bit more compassionate and patient. The industry is highly competitive and it can be cutthroat at times. It is a male-dominated field, and there are organizations that work in silos, and it's almost like cliques. And so the emotional highs and lows that it brings with it can make you a bit anxious or impatient to get certain things done. But with the type of persons that I hope to attract, I do hope that I am able to walk gently with them to the point that I need them to be. And I do hope that it becomes something that that I can have enough patience and compassion to do so as I watch them grow and go into that position and become the person that I know that they are capable of.
Wonderful. And so you know, you think it's so right now you have this team of 8 persons, so that's 8 including you, or is it 7 plus you?
7 plus me.
Okay, great. So you know, again, you want to get them to, you know, I mean, if there was some kind of words that you could use to describe what great looks like, could you be able to tell me what that looks like?
What grace looks like?
Great. Yeah, great. Sorry.
Okay, what great would look like? I think progress is what great would look like. I don't have a point of perfection to reference, because with technology, things change almost every week, every 2 weeks, every 2 months. Things are changing constantly. And so progress is more effective than perfection. We can never be perfect. As a matter of fact, we grow when we make as many mistakes as possible. So for sure, learning and progress would have to be what great would look like.
Okay, so that you're already beginning to unlock some of your values. So members that you bring on must be willing to learn and grow. They must recognize that it takes progress. You want progress over perfection. So that's important as well. Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. So would you like to know, I mean, so as you know, I'm a leadership coach, and what I'm hearing you say, and I love what you're saying, because you've recognized that the journey starts with you. Who is the person that you need to become? Who's the leader that you need to become?
Yes.
Have you done any kind of leadership work or leadership coaching, or have you done any type of thing like that?
I think in my journey, I didn't have the opportunity to formally do so. It really was baptism by fire,
right?
And the fast-paced nature of the field, and being young, being female, I didn't get the opportunity to pause and do that, and I really wished I would have, but I'm still grateful for the things that I've learned so far.
Yeah. So we do a lot of work with teams and individuals who, whether they're working in an organization, they raise their hand and they say, you know, especially women, because I was a woman in business many years ago, and I had a lot of head trash. Actually, I had to work through some of that head trash. You know, like, I'm a woman, I'm a Trini. I had all, like, it was really holding me back. And once I understood that it was getting in the way of my success, I began to actively work through it and push through it. And one of the things I can tell you, I didn't have a coach, but a lot of mentors in those days. But really being able to understand who is the person that I needed to become, and then working through some of the things that I needed to do to give me what I wanted, was the journey that I took by, you know, when I created this business. Yeah. So would you like to know a little bit more about how this can happen, or, you know, how we can make this happen if you were interested in doing more?
Yes, definitely. I'm always gonna be interested in doing more and becoming better. So definitely, yes. A big yes.
Is it something that you budgeted for? Is it something that, because you obviously sound like the kind of person, you're investing in yourself a lot, and your team as well?
Yes.
Great.
I think as the opportunity came up, I said, okay, this is something that I can look into.
Wonderful. Well, great. So what we would like to do then, if it was okay with you, you know, because this is just a piece of an interview, because, you know, we want to pull little pieces together, listening to what you're saying, and pull it in towards the future of our people. What are the last questions I'd like to bring, you know, to you, and for you to think about and to answer, is where do you see the future of our people? What do you see? I mean, technology is obviously a very important part, and you mentioned something about the pace at which technology is changing, and that agility and that constant, you know, it's not even constant, you know, speed is the new currency, right? So what would you say, if you were to kind of leave some last words before we kind of set up a little bit longer time for us to speak about how we could support you perhaps on being the best version of yourself? What would you say is the future of our people, in terms of, if you could say one thing that you think that we really need to focus on, the future of our people, what are these kinds of behaviors, or who are the people that we need to become? What would you say?
Well, as it pertains to my space with tech, technology is really there to improve the lives of humans. And I think carrying everyone and understanding where they are and meeting them there and then carrying them on that tech journey would create a natural bridge between digital transformation and the way people live. And so I think if we implement that and we keep that at the focus, we keep the improvement of people's lives in the forefront of technology, we will not enter the words and be able to utter the words disruption. Rather, we would speak about collaboration and improvement, progress in the lives of people. And I think that level of awareness of other persons and how they live and how their technology would impact them is significant. But it also it's a kind of kindness. You're considerate of others and how it would impact their lives. And I think we can all do with a little extra kindness. I'm in Barbados now for the FinTech conference, but back home, I know we all just need an extra hug and an extra dose of kindness.
Absolutely. You're so right. And I think one of the things that I'm big on, and one of the things that I've actually, worked with a lot of companies throughout the region and leaders in the organizations in Trinidad and Barbados and Guyana and Jamaica, it's how do we lead from the power of the heart?
Yes.
And the power of the heart is our culture, how we lead, our leadership, our communication, our relationships, and our behaviors. So what are those things that we need to do to be able to lead from the power of the heart? And who are the people that we need to become? Who are the leaders that we need to become? If I want to run this business this size and I want to be able to deliver results, and again, very connected to why you're doing what you're doing and your purpose, then who is the person that I need to become? So wonderful.
Yeah.
So much for sharing.
Yes.
I will ask Ariel to reach out to you, and I know you're very busy and I know you have a lot going on, but I will ask her to do a follow-up call with you and to see, what opportunities there would be for us to, we have a lot of, we have some what we call Leadership Academy, and this is where we have about 5 or 6 leaders from different industries who want to raise their hand. They may not have a big budget or work with a company. So maybe entrepreneurs like yourself who want to understand what it takes to lead and to become 21st century leaders. So it's like an 8-week program, and it includes a bit of self-awareness as well. So I think that could be something that you would really benefit from.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward. I don't know if maybe Ariel can also forward the recording of this, because I would love to encourage other business owners that I do know that I think would benefit from it. I believe that I have a bit of sway, in that area. So definitely.
And you would be, and if you wanted to even create like a cohort of your colleagues or friends to say, hey, come, let's do this Leadership Academy together. If you found 4 or 5 other persons, obviously they're not a competing business, because obviously we don't put people together in competing businesses. And you guys could work together and build out your leadership, or you could actually, because it's really a leadership academy. So it doesn't really matter. You're not sharing your strategy. It's really about how you're leading.
Yeah. Yes. I do think the footage from this would help me to send that message.
Wonderful. All right, great. Lovely to meet you, Kandyss. And
lovely.
Enjoy the conference. I'd like to get to Barbados because I have a big team that I coach over there. So I'm going to try and get over there soon to see them. So enjoy. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
I will. Thank you.
All the best.
Bye-bye.